Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News, which is always myself, Vibin. Got my brother with me, Mr. Scott Tripp, aka the Crypto Beast. And today is Friday, so it's a beautiful day for us. Last day of the week, you guys get to see us before we head out for the weekend. But as always, we want to go ahead and start the show off by telling you guys we appreciate you guys viewing our content, and also, just sticking around with us. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. And this is our Daily Crypto News, where we kind of get together, pick out a couple of news articles in the crypto news and bring them to your attention and see what you guys think about them. Me and Scott both do a lot of work over here at BigONE, and we host this news for you guys to try to bring you guys or keep you guys up to date on the latest content or what's going on in the news. But before we get started today, like we do every day, we want to jump over it, get some of the daily market sentiment from the Crypto Beast himself, allow him to introduce himself. So without further ado, Mr. Crypto Beast, take over.
So I guess, well, as you know, work for BigONE, doing the social media, all that stuff that Vibin said. So just happy to be here again. As for like the market, it is down, but it isn't dropping drastically like it did last time, which is a fairly good sign, I feel. But let's see, I think from what I've been reading, other people are saying between that 36 and 38 mark is probably bottom at the moment. And then from there, we'll see it go up from there. But let's see, I guess. Some are still saying 20, but I don't think 20 is going to be a thing. But we'll see.
Yeah, I like to think of the market almost like a trampoline. Like when you're on a trampoline and you're bouncing up, it's really fun, but you got to remember that you had to bounce down to come up. So I think the market right now is, kind of trying to find its place to, find a level ground where people where it entices a lot of volume, and we haven't found that sweet spot yet. And it's been like indicators all over, and they've been up and down, but I don't think anybody has a clear call of what it's going to be next. So we're just going to keep watching it, and I think that the sentiment right now is still neutral. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into some of the daily crypto news. I know my first article is coming from Cointelegraph today, and it's going to be talking about how Sandbox was able to reach 2 million users, and they also had a partnership with K-pop. So this is going to be really cool. As you see here, the Sandbox metaverse hits 2 million users, begins K-pop partnership. So the Sandbox metaverse, owned by NFT investment giant Amakoa Brands, has surpassed 2 million registered users amid its play to earn Seasons 2 alpha launch. The crypto game, backed by NFTs, its native sand token, has been in the weeks for roughly 4 years, and the latest preview in the game comes just a couple of months after its long-awaited Season 1 alpha launch in late November 2021. So Season 2 officially went live on Thursday. Any user is able to freely explore 35 different virtual experiences, including a sneak peek of the Snoopverse in partnership with the popular rapper and newfound NFT prominent Snoop Dogg. So there are 200 requests that players can complete to earn a chance at the Alpha NFT Pass, which will reward the owners up to 1,000 sand, roughly $3,000 at current prices. So you can see here that Dean Dakashi tweeted, "Looking real, the Sandbox metaverse hits 2 million users, launches Alpha 2 at GainspeedVenture.com." So this is exciting news for the Sandbox project, Scott. Is something that we've been covering, I know, since we kind of got started working together. And it was one of the things that I know that you got into really early and introduced me to. And it's exciting to see that they're continuing to build all the hype that they had built up, and that last little wave that we had. They didn't let it stop them as far as what they wanted to do, and continuing to build. And here we are hearing them again in the news and expanding on their idea of the metaverse and still giving developers more to build on. So good news for Sandbox, and also Snoop Dogg, man. I feel like this is one of those things, like we like when we first started covering this, we were talking about Snoop Dogg and him initially getting started. And I thought he was going to be one of those like rappers that get into something and don't know much about it and then get out. But shout out to Snoop Dogg for like maintaining his weight, so to say, in the crypto or the NFT space, and being able to stay relevant in a sense, because I think he still is an awesome addition to their metaverse project.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I think when that guy puts his mind to something, he's very business savvy, so he knows what he's doing and he's doing it properly. There's no question.
And I know Andy recently met with the owner of Sandbox when he was in Korea, the blockchain
South
summit.
Korea, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to when Andy gets back and being able to pick his brain and see what they talked about and find out more about what the Sandbox has to offer. I don't think Sandbox is one of those projects that built out for just a one little bull run. I think they're here for the long haul.
I definitely think so too. They're not going anywhere, that's for sure. My first article is on this article. If there were a time for financial freedom, it's now. With Ukraine raising money online and Russia shut out of the financial system, crypto's liberty proposition was put to the test. In years hence, when we look back on how cryptocurrency became integrated into the global economy, this week may be viewed as a turning point. For one, there was an unprecedented I'm not very good at that
phenomenon.
Word. Yeah,
phenomenon.
Of a besieged European government crowdfunding armament procurement with donations from around the world, demonstrating not only crypto's global capacity for peer-to-peer fund transfers, but also the power of decentralized action. As a decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, and other crypto communities swiftly mobilized. At the same time, the West's swift move to cut off Russia's bank from the SWIFT messaging system gave people a crash lesson in the gatekeeping plumbing of the incumbent international financial system to which cryptocurrencies offer an alternative. This guy is very technical in his article, which is nice, but basically, like, this is really testing because you do have certain exchanges saying, no, we're not going to cut out all Russian users because you're telling us to. Ukraine, like, there's that side of it. There's the states kind of looking at regulation, but I think it's kind of at that point where some of these governments are realizing it's going to be really difficult to regulate cryptocurrency, all parts of cryptocurrency. Anyways, there definitely is some that they can regulate, like the off ramps, basically, but the other stuff that they're kind of, I guess, I hate to say it, but shit out of luck.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about this guy, it almost comes down, you got to think about it like this is a people's currency and not a government's currency. So like, I think it would be a higher chance of people shutting down a certain currency going to a certain area of the community wanted that in a whole. But I don't think anybody that's involved on either side of this wants to see the innocent people get hurt. So all the people who are in Russia aren't here to support the war, just like some Ukrainians aren't there to support the war. But why would you shut them down? Why would you make them stay in their Rubin when the Rubin's lost, over 30% of its value in the last couple of days? That would be super unfair. And I think, we're going to hear more about that going forward, about how people don't want to, stand up and try to shut down these people in different countries and different in sectors just because the governments are saying so.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so to jump into my second article,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, to jump into my second article here, we're gonna see where it's coming from. 2, 1. So it's actually gonna be coming from Cointelegraph as well. The headline reads: "Interoperability has a new meaning thanks to this Polkadot powered startup. Blockchain development is an ever expanding space and what feels like a daily occurrence. New projects and networks appear that claim to offer faster performance or new functions unlike anything we've seen before. Whether or not those claims are true, the existence of multiple blockchain network requires developers to consider the benefits and disadvantages of each one before building a decentralized application, which is a DApp, of course. And more times than not, the developers lock to the network of choice from inception onward." That's so true. But as we go on here, they say that the decision right here, a vital decision: building a DApp is no easy task. A development team must learn one or more of the programming languages to work around sandbox environments and virtual machines, building smart contracts of various complexities. All of this aside, it's vital to consider which networks have or are most likely to attract a substantial pool of users. So, for example, ETH is slow and expensive compared to the modern networks, but it's powerful virtual machine, the EVM, and it has more users than its competitors. ETH even have its own application standard established by the worldwide consortium, the W3C, other networks like Polkadot might be faster and more powerful on a function level, but are lacking Ethereum's vast user base. So that's something that me and Scott, we go back and forth about and talk a little bit about, and as well as, I talked with Andy about this because I'm one of those guys that's bullish on Polkadot, but it's like, we know that it's faster, we know that it's cheaper, but the user base isn't as big as, say, Ethereum or some of the competitors that's out there. So when you think about, these protocols like Polkadot and, some of the AVAX and some of the things, or even Phantom, or even Polygon, you look at this and it's like the user base isn't there yet. Where you look at Ethereum and they have this really high user base. So you see here the parachain dilemma is to accomplish this, the Geminis network, which is proud to call itself the first parachain supported by Paris State's advanced technological stack, is attempting to earn a slot in the Polkadot crowd auction. Winning the auction is based on the votes of the Polkadot and Paris State communities, and if voted in, Gemini's network will earn as a slot as one of the Polkadot's prominent parachains and funded via a crowd loan method. The Gemini's network shares some insight on the matter, stating Gemini's network needs the support of the Paris State and Polkadot community, the holders of DOT. True to the ethos of decentralized governments, your vote can help the Gemini's network become a Polkadot parachain. By exercising your right to vote in the Gemini's network parachain in the Polkadot crowd loan auction, you are enabling the technology that makes it easier for developers to build applications and infrastructure on higher performance blockchains. So I think some of what they were pretty much stating in this article, Scott, was that, there's been some problems with building some of the dApps on Polkadot. When you think about Polkadot and how much security they require for dApps to have to be on their network. And here, Gemini is going to be this intermediate that, onboard some of these other programs, make sure they run right before they go to Polkadot. We all know, and we talk about all the time, how Polkadot's this fine, polished network, and they don't want to let anybody on until they know that they're super clean.
Yeah, definitely. And then I'm going to share this one. Crypto offers Russia no way out from Western sanctions. This is words from someone. With the concerns of Janet Yellen and Hillary Clinton, surprise, surprise, notwithstanding, there isn't enough cryptocurrency in the world to bail out Russia from the economic hole which it now found itself in, to be settling in. Even if there's a large enough supply, it probably wouldn't enable the state to escape the scourge of Western embargo. As David Carlisle, Director of Policy and Regulations Affair at Elliptical, told Cointelegraph, it's critical to keep in mind that even when nefarious actors attempt to use crypto, law enforcement can track this activity owing to its transparency, and crypto business can use solutions such as blockchain analytics to comply with sanction requirements. Despite Clinton's worries that the largest crypto exchanges aren't doing enough to shut Russia's possible escape hatch, it isn't even clear that Russia's political and business elite are actually even looking for a cryptocurrency solution. Which is kind of funny because it's true in some ways, and then to bail out others, yeah, you wouldn't want to take all the money out of Russia and be like, let's dump it in the cryptocurrency and then sell out. I don't see stuff like that happening. Smaller transactions like business transactions or governmental transactions in the millions, I could see that going through cryptocurrency, and you can still technically hide it. Thank you to places like Tornado Cash, among others. But I mean, in the same sense, it's a lot of work for these people in governments to try and do, and I don't see them taking the time to do it. For one, like I was mentioning, they don't know really how to even regulate cryptocurrency. So how are they going to figure out how to use it if they don't know how to regulate it either? So,
and it's forever evolving, Scott. I keep saying the same thing. It's like you have people building things that I'd say probably 97% of the population doesn't understand. And in that 97% of the population, Scott, is also our government officials. And they're no different from us at the end of the day, as far as having knowledge of certain things and not having knowledge of certain things. Scott, we've been around this space for a long time, and luckily for us, we've been around people who've been in the space a lot longer. So we've been able to learn a lot in a great period of time. But I would dare to say that we understand the ins and outs of crypto all the way. I dare to say that a lot of people do. So to think that the government does, even though the government's smart, they weren't the ones who created this. And I hate to keep going back to the crypto punks, and I'm not talking about the NFTs, but the original punks of the internet. They created this a long time ago, Scott, and they're going to continue to build, and they have proteges that want to that emulate them and want to build bigger and better things. And I think as we go forward, I think you're going to see a lot more decentralization, even on the centralized side. And I think my next article might actually talk a little bit about that. So without further ado, I'll jump over to my last article of the day. And this one kind of hit home for me, being with BigONE Exchange. But you see here that SEX refused blanket asset freeze of all Russian users through questions linger. So SEX, for people who don't know, are centralized exchanges, and CEOs from companies such as Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken have all stated they would only freeze the assets of Russian clients specifically targeted by Western sanctions, and not that of everyday Russian users. So as you see here, we believe everyone deserves access to a basic financial service unless the law says otherwise. Some ordinary Russians are using crypto as a lifeline now that their currency has collapsed. Many of them likely oppose what their country is doing, and a ban would hurt them too. So Kraken cannot freeze the accounts of our Russian clients without a legal requirement to do so. Russians should be aware that such a requirement could be imminent. It's already happened to Iranians' accounts. We've been blocked out for Binance for 2 years. No one said, and are we not innocent? So despite such sanctions, it appears several, albeit limited, ways of succumbing to them. As one of KuCoin moderator wrote, users from Iran can use our exchange, but KYC is not supported. If you wish to proceed without doing KYC, you may perform all functions on our exchange as normal, even if you're not verified. However, there are withdrawal limits of 5 Bitcoin per 24 hours on for the unverified accounts. So here we are, Scott, and as we go more into these topics today, we see centralized exchanges starting to fight back, and I won't say fight back, just starting to stand up and state the nature of what digital currency is. They're not going to shut down a whole country because another country sanctions them, because the country doesn't speak for the people. This is for the cryptocurrency is for the people. So they're like, hey, if you pose sanction on a certain person, we can shut down their wallet, but we're not going to shut down millions or thousands of innocent users because you guys pose sanction on the entire country. It makes no sense. Their currency, Scott, is falling at a rate that even where we're facing inflation here in the States, the Rubens fell all the way. Like we talked about it yesterday, Dogecoin flipped the Ruben as far as dollar value as market cap. So and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I don't feel like it's right for governments to ask people to shut down entire countries, because everybody's not guilty.
Yeah, I agree. And even like the Russian, they call them oligarchs, like the billionaires of like the ruling elite of the Russia are suffering right now. Like people, they're saying, I read an article earlier that one guy had like billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, and during this war he's lost everything. Like there's nothing left. They've took his yachts that were stuck in Britain. They've took his properties and seized his properties. Like, but
Scott,
I still think he has money.
I feel for people, right? But billionaires, when they lose it all, it's like they just become millionaires and they feel like they lost it all. But I understand. I understand the struggle.
And here's
not at all, but I wish.
Here's a great article to leave a note on. I might not have switched it yet, but I'll switch it as soon as I get in here. Dogecoin wallet for iOS goes live. Meme coin co-founder reveals. My Doge wallet, a dedicated wallet app for the meme-inspired Dogecoin, has been released to iOS users. The news was broken by Dogecoin co-founder Billy Marcus in a tweet on March the 4th. Download a dedicated Dogecoin wallet was just released for iOS, non-custodial, and seems pretty easy to use. Marcus also said the non-custodial wallet app wasn't created by the Dogecoin team. Instead, its creation was entrusted to a group of independent developers. According to a tweet by the My Dogecoin wallet team, the app supports transfers of Doge to the wallet from any cryptocurrency exchange and other crypto wallets, including Robinhood and Coinbase. Users can run the app on iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch devices using iOS 12 or above. It can also be fired up on the Apple M1 chip Macs using Mac OS 11 or later. The My Doge Wallet App Store description describes it as a social wallet for the people's currency and states that My Doge is a free, secure, non-custodial social wallet for Dogecoin. Our mission is to increase the number of daily Dogecoin transactions by building a community for Dogecoin enthusiasts to explore the Dogecoin universe and meet with friends. With My Doge, you can buy, send, receive, and store your Dogecoin safely. It's a great move on their part. And typically, you see it launch on Android versus going to iOS first, so that's impressive.
I think they actually already launched on iOS, if I'm not mistaken. Sure. Yeah. So I think this is really good for Doge because I'm one of those people who I like Doge, but it was like one of those first meme coins that got a lot of people into cryptocurrency, including some of my friends that actually didn't know anything about cryptocurrency. So I like it for it being one of those meme coins that onboarded a lot of new users. And I was always concerned about where they would be able to go with their utility. One of the things that I don't like about Doge is that a lot of the holders hold Doge. And I don't think Doge is one of those things that gains value from people holding it. I think it's one of those things that has to be used a lot because there's so many tokens. And if they never use more than the supply that they mint every year, then it's not deflationary, right, Scott? So they just end up with all these extra tokens every year, and it loses value over the term of the time. So I like this because I think this will make excuse me, it'll make Doge more of a peer-to-peer type of digital currency. I think people should use this instead of something like a Cash App or your Apple Pay, where you're paying a couple of dollars for transfers. I think on Doge it would be maybe 10 to 60 cents. So this is something that I like what they did here, and I think if they can do it where Apple and iOS both integrate and you can trade amongst wallets, I think this will be something that helps burn up that supply that they take on every year. I can't remember that magical number, but I think it's around 3 to 6 billion tokens they add on every year with Doge or something like that. So I think with this wallet, this will make it a little bit more useful to use as a peer-to-peer transaction. So I like that article. Excuse me. All right. So before we head out of here today, guys, we're going to jump over to TradingView, take a look at the total crypto market cap and some of the dominance factors that we like to take a little peek at. This isn't looking as good as some of the days that we've seen prior to this, but we see here, excuse me, on the 1 day, we just had this big red candle here, and it pushed us down to the current market cap, which is at 1.71 trillion. I would be looking for some support in this area here to kind of reclaim this support. If not, we could drop lower to the next support line. But if we do reclaim this, I could see us making another bullish move up towards the top here. And we're going to go over and look at the Bitcoin dominance. We see us at 43.35, still kind of holding steady on that the chart. It had a little bit of a decline, but nothing is getting out of this support that has been maintaining since January. Honestly, they kind of picked it up in December and lost a little bit of it through the holidays, but then picked it right back up over here. And then the Ethereum dominance itself is at 18.29. So Another one of those things,
Yeah.
Scott, when I look at, I look at it and say, I can't see any new volume because I'm looking for them to break through this area right here. And it just hasn't happened yet. And as you see, if we lose this support here, we don't have anywhere to go but here, which means that if Ethereum dominance came down to the 17, Scott, a lot of alts would get suffocated again, and be at some super low prices. So we'll keep paying attention to everything here. This is our last episode for the week, but we will definitely be back here on Monday to give you guys more of the daily crypto news. Before we get out of here today, if you were able to jump into the Twitter space today, guys, we appreciate it. Anybody who's able to jump in that Twitter space, make sure you invite a friend, invite a project that you're involved with. If they have a great community, we love to hear from various communities about things that they're building, especially if they have great utility and they have a community who actually supports the project. But that's all I have for today, Scott. What else you got?
That's it for the moment. I'm knowing that there's a couple of new projects potentially on the horizon with BigONE. After Everise here, there's a few interesting things coming up. So just keep your eyes open because there's some cool news coming.
Yeah, guys, just keep paying attention to what's going on. You can check out things down on BigONE. Check out some of the new things that's going on with the AMM mining and some of the guessing games they've got for different tokens on the exchange right now. But other than that, guys, hope you all have an amazing weekend. We appreciate you tuning in this week, and we'll be back again next week for more of the daily crypto news.
Have a great day. Peace. See you guys later.
Peace.